Hello guys, welcome to Coding. In this video, we are going to see the Leetcode problem number 309, best time to buy and sell stock with Cooldown. Let's get into the problem. So the problem statement is, you are given an array prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on ith day. Find the maximum profit you can achieve. You may complete as many transactions as you like, such as buy one and sell one share of stocks multiple times, with the following restriction. So the restriction is, after you sell your stock, you cannot buy stock on the next day. That's it. There's a cooldown of 1 day. There's also given a note that you may not engage in multiple transactions simultaneously. You must sell the stock before you buy again. So this is the problem statement. So let's get on to the problem definition. So the first step, before approaching any problem, is to define the problem clearly. So define problem. So the input for this problem is prices. Let's say the length of prices will be n. So the prices will be denoting the price of a stock for n days. Stock price for n days, and the output for this problem is to find the maximum profit you can get by performing a series of buy and sell of a stock, and there's a restriction that uh, there's a cooldown of one day. So with 1 day cooldown. So this is the input and output of the given question. And so what is a cooldown? So cooldown is nothing but if you are buying the stock, and let's say we have 4 days, and if you are performing a buy on the first day, and if you are selling on the next day, you cannot buy again. So this is not allowed here. So you can only continue to buy stocks after a cooldown of 1 day. So you need to leave a gap, that is the cooldown of 1 day. So the corner case of this question will be like, if the prices length, that is if n is equal to 1, you can directly return 0, since there is no, even if you buy the stock on the first day, you cannot sell it on the any day. So there is only 1 day here, so you will return 0. So this is the corner case. So this is all about our problem definition, and let's get on to the uh, approach of this problem. So the second step is approach, and the goal of our problem is to find the series of buy and sell of a stock with a gap between each buy and sell. It's nothing but if we are having a buy and sell here, there should be a gap for minimum of 1 day, and it can be maximum of any. So after this, buy sell and gap, and it continues. So this is the thing. This is the goal. That is, we need to find the series of buy sell with gap, such that we need to choose this buy sells which will yield us the maximum profit. So maximum profit. So this is what we are required to find. So let's consider there are a number of days. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So maybe the answer may be like buy sell gap and buy sell, or the answer may be like just only one buy sell, like buy and sell. So this might be the answer. So we need to find out that. So this is what our goal is. So how can we find this? So uh, there are three possible operations that we can do for each day. So if you are given the price of stock, this is the prices array. So this is nothing but the price of a stock for n number of days. So let me verify this. Price of stock for a day. Yeah, that's correct. So for each day, there are three possibilities. We can buy the stock. So the operations are of three types. So we can buy a stock, sell a stock, or do nothing. So these are the three states or operation that we can perform for any day. So this is a core logic we are going to use. So how can we use these operations to determine the answer? So we'll perform. We can only perform sell after a buy, and yes, so we can only perform buy uh, before nothing. So only when we are not currently bought any stock currently, we can buy another stock, right? So this is what given in the question. See, like we can only buy one and sell one share of stock multiple times. So you cannot buy a stock and again buy a stock. So you need to sell before buying a stock. So this is the condition given here. So yeah, there are three steps. So initially, let's say we are given the days. So this is day one, day two, day three, day four, day five. So initially we are currently haven't bought any stocks. So we'll consider buy as false. So we haven't bought any stock. So when we meet the first day, we have two possibilities. That is, when the buy state is false, we can either buy here or continue doing nothing. So we can do anything, two states, like we can buy or do nothing. If we buy a stock, our buy state will be changed to true. So this is the case here. So when we buy a stock, buy state, let's say buy state, let's consider this as a buy state. So buy state will be turning into true when we buy. So this is the scenario for buy state being false. If the buy state is false, we may buy the stock and move to the next day, or we can directly move to the next day by having the same buy state. So buy state will be false here. So we'll continue moving on. So this is the scenario for the uh, case in which we have buy state as false. So when we have buy state, so buy state is nothing but it will help us to determines if we have a stock in hand. If we have bought a stock, let's say if we have bought a stock, so buy state will be determining that. So when the buy state is false, we have given the condition here. So if the buy state is true, and if we are in if our buy state is true and we are in a day, so if we are in any day, we can perform two operations like sell or do nothing. So these are the two things we can do. If we sell the stock, our profit will be added, so we'll get the profit that we have earned by performing the buy and sell operation. Along with it, we'll change the buy state to false and move to uh, if we are present in ith day, we'll move to I plus 2th day. So we can't buy in the next day, so we are moving to I plus 2 day. So consider we are selling in the first day, so this is not the first day, but when we consider, so let's say we have any number of days before, and if we are selling in the ith day, this is considered to be the I, and we cannot move directly to next day. This is I plus 1 and this is I plus 2, so we can only move to the I plus 2 day. So we are skipping one day, that is which is cool down after the sell. So we are moving to I plus 2 state when we sell. So these are the three conditions here. So if we sell the stock, our profit is added. Along with it, buy state is turned to false since we sold the stock which we have bought, and we'll move to the uh, next day. So we are moving to indexes. So when we do nothing, what happens is we'll keep the buy state as false. Buy state, buy state will be remaining true since we haven't sold the stock which we have bought, and we'll move to the next index. So this is the scenario for the uh, case in which buy state is true. So this is for buy state as false. So when the buy the when the buy state is false, we'll buy the we can either buy the stock or do nothing. If we buy the stock, we'll move to index I plus 1, and same scenario goes to do nothing. So when we do nothing, we can continue to move on to next index. So this is what the problem statement states is going to be. So how are we going to use this states to determine our answer? This is the question here. So uh, this is our core logic. So this is our core logic, and we are going to utilize these two steps. This is step one and step two in this approach. So yeah, this is all about our approach, and the time complexity. The approach takes is nothing but we'll move to the next slide. So next is the time and space complexities. So the time complexity the approach takes is we go of 2 power n, since there are two states. In two states we'll perform to any of the two outcomes. So there are two states, and there is time complexity 2 power n, and the space complexity is nothing but we go of there is no extra space used here, so the only the stack space is counted. So it may be the space complexity will be O of n, since the maximum size the grows will be n, and the approach we are using here is recursion. So can we optimize this approach? And the answer is yes. And we can optimize this approach using memoization. So how can we, when can we use the memoization? So memoization can be used in scenarios where we are computing the same value again and again. So if there are many days here, so let's say there are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 days here, and if we are performing, we are coming to this day with the by state as true, we'll compute an answer. So we can use this answer for any time. So when we are directly, there will be scenarios in which the when it will reach the day 3 with value as true and also value as false. When we reach the by state value as true, we'll we can return the answer directly when we already computed it. So if we haven't computed it, we'll compute the answer and store it in the true state of the third day. So there is two states like by state is true and by state as false. So we are going to create a 2D array, that is array of size n along with the two parameters, which is n will be let's say this, let's name this as a dp, and n will be for number of days, and 2, the size 2 is nothing but by state is true and by state is false. So we are going to create this array, a two-dimensional array, and utilize this in our approach, and our time complexity will be from big O of will be changed from big O of 2 power n to big O of n, and the space complexity will be big of 2 into n, which will be big of n. Since 2 is a constant, we'll ignore this, and our approach will be like recursion plus memoization. So this is all about a time, space, and approach. And as I have mentioned, the steps. So the steps will be like by step, true and false. So we'll use a recursion over the array, and firstly we'll have a max profit function with parameter as index, and prices array, and also by state, which is a boolean value. So since we have only two values, we can use a boolean variable to determine the value of by state. So this is the function, and if the by state is true, we are going to perform the two. We can perform two operations like sell or do nothing. Let's say do nothing, and if the by state is false, we can perform two operations like buy or do nothing. And if we sell the stock, we'll move to I plus 2. So we'll move the index to 2 positions, and if we do not sell, we can move to next index. And if we buy the stock, we'll move to the next index, and same goes to do not buy. So if we are not doing if we are doing nothing, we'll move to next index. So when we sell the stock, we get some profit, and if you are buying some stock, we'll reduce the uh, price which you have bought. So minus bought price, and this is plus stock price of the day, that is plus sell price. So this may be appearing new to you. This is the optimization we are going to use. So this may, when you're seeing this for the first time, you will find it new, and if you are regularly practicing it, I mean, if you have encountered this at least one time, you will be able to come up with the same logic. So it's nothing but if you have bought price and sell price, so the profit will be nothing but sold price minus the bought price. So this will be the profit, right? So minus BP is what we are going to use. We are buying it, and plus SP is the profit we are going to have when we sell the stock. So after this, we are going to return the maximum value out of two steps. So this is the complete steps which we are going to use here. So if you are unclear about these steps, you are unclear about coding up these steps, you will get a clear idea in the coding section. So now let's get on to the coding section. So initially we'll create the solution without memorization. So we'll return maximum profit with index 0, prices and false. So we haven't bought any stock now. So we're passing false here. So I'll write the helper function which is max profit. So max profit get the index prices array and by state. So if we have reached the limit of index, that is if the index is greater than or equal to prices dot then, which is invalid day, will return 0. So the index will be mentioning the day which we are currently at. If the day crosses the number of days we have, that is which can be determined by using prices dot length, will return 0, or else we have two possibilities. So if a by state is true, which means we can leave it as it is. By state, what we can do is either we can sell or do nothing. So we'll return the maximum amount of sell and do nothing. So while we sell the stock, what we'll do is we'll add the current price which we have mentioned here. So add the sell price. Along with it, we are going to move I plus 2 index and turn the by state to false. Since we have no prices, that is, we have not bought any uh, stocks after the sell. So prices, so current price will be added. Current day, current day's stock price will be added along with maximum profit out of index plus 2 and prices, and by state will be turned to true. So this will be the maximum profit and we sell the stock. So we'll find the maximum value out of sell and do nothing. So do nothing is nothing but maximum profit of index plus 1 along with prices, and by state will remain the same, that is 2. So here I have made a mistake. So by state will be turned to change it to false and we return the maximum out of this. So this is the scenario when the by state is true, and else we return the maximum value of so when the by state is false, we have two conditions. So we can perform two operations, like we can either uh, buy the stock or do nothing. So when we buy the stock, what happens is we'll reduce the price which have bought the stock. So minus prices of index and maximum profit we get. So we move index plus 1. So we are moving I plus 1 when we are buying. We are moving I plus 1. So here we have I plus 1 and we have reduced the profit and bought that is buy state will be changed to false since we have bought the stock. I mean true since we have bought the stock here. Index plus 1 comma prices comma true. So true indicates that we have currently bought a stock. So this will be the profit, maximum profit we get when we sell the, I mean when we buy the stock here. And after this, do nothing is nothing but maximum profit out of index plus 1 along with prices and the buy state remains false since we haven't bought any stock. So this is it. And I'll explain the process once again here. So if the index we are passing 0 index 0 which is current day will be 0 and prices array and false. So false will indicate that the buy state currently is false, that is we haven't bought any stocks yet. So the helper function will get the index prices and buy state, and if the day, that is current day, will be indicated like indicated in the index, right? So if the index goes out of bounds, that is the days limit is exceeding, will return 0. And if it is buy state, if we are currently in a buy state, the buy state will indicate that we have bought a stock. So if we bought a stock, we can either sell it or skip without selling. So we'll find the value, that is maximum profit for sell and do nothing. So when we sell the stock, we can add the prices, that is the current day, that is sold price as a profit, and maximum profit of index plus 2. We are removing two indexes to include the restriction which is cooldown period, and we are passing the prices array, and also we are changing the buy state to false since we have sold the stock which we have bought. Now we don't have any stocks that we have bought, so we are changing to false. And this is the maximum profit we get after selling. So when we skip the current day, we get maximum profit of moving to next day along with prices, and we pass the value by state as true since we haven't sold the stock which we have bought. So we'll pass the true. So this is the scenario for buy state. And else we can either buy, when the buy state is false, either we can buy the stock or skip to next day. So when we buy the stock, will be reduced, the profit will be reduced for the price which you have bought. Along with it, we'll try to find the maximum out of profit out of moving to next index. So when we move to next index, we pass the value true since we have bought the stock, or bought by state will be turned to true. So this is the maximum profit we get when we buy the stock. And when we skip the skip and do nothing, so when we do that step, we get the we move the current day to the next day, and our buy state will be remaining as false since we haven't bought any stocks yet. So let's take this up. It's working fine, but it will take us to time limit exceeded exception. So let's submit it up. As you can clearly see, that is a time limit exceeded error. So this can be eliminated by using the memoization. So in memoization, we can memorize the by state. So we have two operations like by state as true and by state as false. So we can memorize this. So in order to memorize, we get a integer array. So two-dimensional integer array. When we get into the function, we create uh, the number of days, which is prices dot length for n days. So for number of days, we'll have two states, which is buy and sell. And if we have previously computed the same value of the function call, so if dp of current day, and if the buy will represent buy state true in the index 0 and false in the index 1. So if the buy state is true or false, we don't bother. So when the buy state is true, we need to check the value at the cell 0, or else false, that is first index. So if the value is not equal to null, we just return dp of index by state 0. We have condition operator here. So it's nothing but what we have done here is when the buy state is zero, buy state is true, we need to fetch the value at index 0. So cell 0. So we have condition operator mentioning 0, and if by state is false, we need to fetch the value of first index. So we have used the same here, and finally what we'll do here is, so in the buy state, if we are into the buy state condition, we need to store the value at the first, zeroth index. So buy state true is nothing but index of 0. So we'll store the value on zeroth index. So if the buy state is false, we need to store the value at first index. Yeah. So finally, we'll return dp of index, so current day, and if buy state is true, we need to return the value at index 0 or else index 1. So let's check this out. It's working fine. Let's submit it up. Accepted. And that's all about this video, guys. Thanks for watching this video and have a great time. And if you have any doubt, please leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you, guys.